Four, three, two, one.
Welcome to the Sports Junkie Lounge. Dive into the world of sports with stories, debates, and all the action you crave. Your hosts, Cha-Cha, D-Lo, and the rest of the Run It Back crew are here to fuel your sports addiction. Now let's get it poppin'.
All right, everybody, you heard that new intro. It's Cha-Cha and D-Lo in the building.
Always in the building, baby. Let's do it. What's up, America?
Sir. We got
How
the
y'all
Sports
doing?
Junkie Lounge, and
How
we got
y'all
a
doing?
lot to get covered. So,
All
right,
We coming up on the close to the end of the season, so we wanna dive into this finals and all of that, man. But go ahead, D-Lo. What you got for me, man?
all right, man. So it's one of those things. It's like, where do we start? You know what I mean? So we gonna start off we gonna go ahead and talk about this whole selling the Lakers.
Yeah, let's talk about that and get into the NBA Finals last. I want to talk about that last.
Yeah, so we got the Buss family who has owned the Lakers for
Since 78, 77 or
yeah,
78.
it's been a
For
grip.
little or nothing, because they wasn't jack shiznicks.
But so the Buss family sold majority share to Mark Walter, which they still makes them still the governor of the franchise.
Mhm.
But still, Mark Walters, he is a billionaire in LA. He owns LA Dodgers, the LA Sparks. He also owns a Formula One team, a professional women's hockey league team.
What's the soccer team called? I think he owns a soccer team too.
And then he owns the Premier League club Chelsea.
Is it primary or premier?
Premier. I'm sorry, Premier.
Yeah,
Premier.
Okay.
And then he also is, I think he's alumni of Creighton and Northwestern University.
Creighton?
Yeah. So,
boy, with that NIL, he's getting that money out, especially.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other school? Northwestern?
Northwestern.
Oh, the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, they okay, so the Big Ten, who's they coach? Chris Collins.
Yeah.
Doug Collins' son, man. He's one of those coaches that he knows how to. He's a player coach. He's a player's coach.
Oh, yeah.
He's a player's coach for sure.
Yeah.
You know, if you on FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever, Blase, this, that, Fanatics, you know, if the underdog, certain games you might be able to bet on them, looking at a previous game, because he knows how to motivate his players. He just, the pieces, he's not consistent, and it's not his fault. But I think with this, with what's his name, Mark
Walter.
Get that NIL money out, man. Get them players in there, man. Get 'em
Marky
in there.
Mark.
Yeah, and the fun bunch. Let's make this a fun bunch thing. Yeah.
But so, I mean, he bought it for $10 billion.
Man, he's got his hands in every damn thing. Damn. It takes a billionaire. It takes a billionaire. But you know what? God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah, I mean, he's running the whole sports in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Without owning on the football team. He owns.
Oh, I forgot about the Rams.
Yeah, without owning on the football teams, he's basically got a monopoly on the sports in LA.
Yeah.
So I mean, do your thing, though.
I'm not mad at him. Hey, you know what? It's good for sports. It's good for sports. Parity is already shining its light in the college game.
Yeah.
I mean, even the mid majors are just outstanding, and now with this NIL money and the way that they are able to transfer, which I think that the NCAA is gonna change some rules, because that's for another discussion. But if he spreads his wings, man, he can do a lot, and I don't know. Well, the as far as being an alum of Northwestern, and what was the other school?
Creighton. Yeah.
Creighton.
I always keep wanting to say Cretan. I don't know why.
Cause you like them Cretan Clearwater Revival ass. Yeah, Cretan Clearwater Revival. You know, give me some time, America. I'll think of a song. Cause y'all know what I do. Y'all know what I do. I'll think of a song by them. It's on the tip of my tongue.
No, it's mostly that Kentucky in me, because a lot of people do call Cretan Kentucky. They do.
Never heard it.
Really?
I don't know what he's talking about, America. He gonna quit that. He gonna quit that. He gonna quit that. He's trying to justify his error, America. Don't fall for the okey doke.
I ain't justifying nothing. I said I was wrong. I said I was wrong.
All right, well, yeah, well,
We got this.
Way to be accountable. To be accountable. Humble thyself.
All right, but
on a serious note, my question is, when they agreed to this, what was the circumstances behind it?
that's what I'm wondering. What was the underline? I mean, do they have to? Are they just going to switch it up and build a whole new team? Get rid of JJ Redick, get rid of LeBron and Bronny, and are they still holding on to Luka, thinking he's going to be the future of the franchise?
Well, I think they're going to pay Luka. I think he's going to pay Luka. I think he's going to do that. I mean, especially, we know how LeBron gets down. LeBron, you know, he can tell you one thing, America, excuse me for this, for you LeBron fans, but it's well documented. He will dip on you. And, you know, for whatever reason, because we all know he's ring chasing, but he came out and said that he doesn't understand why, you know, the ring culture is what it is. You know, why can't you be the greatest? Why can't you be the greatest without a ring? Well, yeah, and that's legitimate. You can be great without a ring, though. But we talking about GOAT conversation.
Yeah, but if you want to be the GOAT in the conversation, you have to have some rings.
Rings matter,
and you have to be the dominant one in getting those rings. Yeah, you can't be a Robert Horry getting rings and just be the person that pulls up the last shot. Yeah,
right.
Like you can't do that. Like,
and the thing is that you can look up statistical categories. His is now like more longevity.
Yeah,
his is like more longevity, and I'm not knocking him in any form or fashion, but for him to do a 180 when he was talking about when he went to Miami. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight. It was the ring culture. When he won in Cleveland, when he self-proclaimed himself the GOAT, when he did that was ring culture.
Yeah.
That was ring culture. And honestly, I feel like that he knows that his time is coming to an end, and he knows that once he steps away from the game, there's nothing he can do. He's never going to catch Michael Jordan's 6 rings. But, you know, the LeBron fans, they're like, well, look, Jordan fans think that his career started when he got his first ring, his first 6 rings or whatever. No. The Jordan fans talk about his accolades, and there's a lot of accolades that LeBron is not a part of, such as, you know, all defensive teams, you know, just a lot of accolades.
Well, that and Jordan's mindset on the game is different than LeBron's. LeBron, he came in the league, and this is coming from conversation interviews that I've heard other people talking about LeBron and his character, but they talk about how he wanted to be a global icon. Well, that's not.
Why was that though? Why was that?
I mean, I guess it was just because of the way Jordan took off.
And there it is.
But it was just. But that's the thing. Like, the reason why Jordan took off was, one, the NBA wasn't in a bad state
not
at
in
that
the
point.
90s,
Not at all. But I mean, coming off of the Showtime Lakers, and then you coming off the Boston Celtics
and the bad boy
Pistons, like it needed somebody.
And here's the thing. The one thing that we can give LeBron credit for is giving the players freedom.
Yeah.
If it's about getting their money.
Yeah.
He did that. So he can get credit for that. But if you're going to get credit for that, then own that.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, I mean, you can give Jordan credit for that too, because at the same time, players wouldn't be getting paid for their shoes like Jordan did if it wasn't for Jordan.
Yeah, but I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about being able to be a free agent.
Oh, yeah.
Restricted, no trade clauses, and all of that. LeBron was able to do that.
Yeah.
He what he basically did was created his own terms.
Yeah.
And he showed other athletes after him the way. And let's not get this twisted. It wasn't because of LeBron that the NBA was able to shell out more money.
Right.
But with him, it became more and more money, more and more, but what was his agenda? What was his agenda? Because my thing is okay, so he was able to get more money, but was the money the thing that he was trying to get? No, I don't think it is. I think that he just made it possible for you to bounce to the best team that gave you the best opportunity to win.
Yeah.
And Jordan wasn't even the highest paid player on his team once Kukoc got on there, especially Kukoc. And so let's forget about trying to beat your rival. Like I'm never going to join Bird. I'm never going to join Magic, because I want to beat them. They're the best of the best.
Yeah. And that's the aspect of the game I do miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you had people in their respective organizations playing the best of the best and trying to beat the best of the best. Mm-hmm. You ain't the best until you beat the best.
Right. And the thing about it is that he was able to do a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Because the 2-for-1 is, okay, let me bounce to another team. But not only let me bounce to another team, let me bounce to another team that's got the top dollar that I think I can win with, and let them bring in more players. And so it hits different because that's what he did. He gets credit for that. The free agency, the like I said earlier, the no trade clause and all of that. Yeah, he gets credit for that, but at the same time, you have to produce.
Yeah.
And he got what, 3 in Miami. He got those. But if you look,
no, he got 2 in Miami.
No, he got 3.
Did they do a 3-peat?
No, he didn't get a 3-peat. No, he got 2 in Miami. 1 when he went back to Cleveland, and he got that bubble winning with the Lakers.
No, I was misunderstanding the wording there. I'm sorry about that.
No, you good. But so he freed players, but you ask yourself, did he, when he opened up that floodgate, what was the players' agendas after that? Did it change, like, I'm gonna get this money? So, the rings, because and that's the thing. With good money but less money. With good money, you got a choice. You got a choice, well, let me backtrack that. With good money but less money, you could stay, because the culture was the ring culture. Yeah. The ring culture. But then it became, all right, I'm not worried about the ring culture. I'm trying to get this money. Yeah. And it changed a lot. I see a lot of people that say, the 90s was garbage. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That's the best. The 90s had the best time of sports.
Well, the thing about that was,
in my opinion.
Right. And me too. And there's a reason for that, because you could build a team.
And it was just, no matter, and this is why I just became a fan of sports anyways, because I'm telling my age, and I grew up in the 90s, but no matter what sport you turn it on in the 90s, you can always witness some type of greatness.
everybody was different. Everybody was different. Everybody was different. Everybody had their own bag. Everybody had their own bag. And I'm not saying that they don't have their own bag today. Of course they do. But, you know, it was about building. It was about building to be greater,
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to knock LeBron for that. I will never do that. I will never do that. But what his expectation, he did not exceed or excel at his expectations. And so that's where, as a matter of fact, let's get back to the Bussy family. So what do you think? Do you think that what do you think this new guy is going to do? Because what I've heard is that LeBron is trying to go to Golden State.
I hope.
And they're not the creme de la creme anymore.
No, and I hope, this is what I hope. I hope he's not the owner of player empowerment. Player empowerment is good in some cases.
Yeah.
But other than that, players need to learn their place in the sport, in the organization. Like, it's not like you're not out there to make calls. You're out there to make the plays to win the championships.
Well,
it's cool to get some, especially some of the veterans or some of the best players. It's cool to get some of their aspects of what they want a team around them, but they shouldn't have final say in the decision.
Man, let me tell you, the seventh man on the bench on an NBA team can get the bag and make more money than the top rated running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's about the bag, and they see this, they know this. You don't think that their agents are not Googling this and not seeing what this is, whatever.
Yeah.
And they Google that. They Google all of that, and they're like, okay, no, you can get this.
Yeah.
You can get, and then we talking about a player that doesn't start. There might be the seventh man coming off the bench, and he can make more money than the top ranked player.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sure you did. That's what he does, America. He does it all the time.
I don't do it all the time.
Finally owned it. But go ahead, continue, my man.
No, it just, I don't know. Player empowerment, it kind of taking a different meaning nowadays. Like,
it's about the cheddar. It's about the cheddar.
It is
because at one point you could be. I mean, hell, even Steven Jackson when Gilbert Arenas said, if I had a choice of taking $300 million versus winning a ring and earning $50 million, I'm gonna take that $300. I'm gonna take that $300 million. Okay, fine. That's this culture.
Yeah,
that's this culture. But back then, it was not about that. And I'm not saying that dumbed down the game or anything when it became about the money, because there's things in the NBA that we don't know about.
Yeah, the
ins and the outs and this and that. Like, maybe I just need to get this bag because I see how they talking and this and that. So yeah, let me get this bag and let me bounce, because we know, like if you've got an incentive in your contract to start so many games or just even get into so many games, it's not above that organization to reach down to the coach and be like, hey, make him a DNP.
Yeah,
do not play. And there's nothing wrong with him.
Right.
And so they know the business. They see things, and these podcasts that they're on have been revealing that. So I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. So I wanna exclude that part of the culture and just talk about, like the drive to win the ring was more important than the money.
Right.
And like I said, it's different eras, and it's this and it's that. The one thing I don't like is the dismissiveness of greatness of eras past.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because to be honest, it doesn't matter what you say as far as making LeBron the GOAT. You can talk shit about Jordan all day. You can say his competition was weak. You can say that the league was watered down in the 90s because of the expansions, but it doesn't matter, because you didn't understand expansion. They didn't just bring in nobodies. it was certain players that were up. They would put them up available.
Yeah.
And so it's the understanding of that. But the one thing that I can say, all right, player, I'll give you that. I'll even give you that. If you say that Jordan played the best competition, if you can say that, the league was watered down, fine. I can live with that. But the one thing that I do know is there's still going to be a bunch of motherfuckers that say that LeBron wasn't a GOAT.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. So that's why I say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, the whole point of this is, what do you think the Lakers are going to do with LeBron under new management? A lot of people say that LeBron controls everything. A lot of people say LeBron will say, "Nah, I didn't have nothing to do with that." But the twins, the Marcus twins.
Yeah.
No, not the Marcus twins. The one that came over with Luka. What is his last name? Markeith and Marcus
Morris.
Morris, the Morris twins.
Morris.
That's what I was. Yeah, he got on the podcast and was talking about, because he said LeBron said that he told AD, "I didn't know about this," but the I don't know which one was which, but he said that his brother called him and said, "Yeah, the reason why I'm with the Lakers now is because they knew that me and Luka was tight," and LeBron was like, "Well, bring him too."
Yeah.
So you just never know where the truth ends and the lies begin. So, like I said, anyway, I don't want to get into the whole LeBron thing, but the only reason why we're getting into this is because what are they going to do with LeBron, especially when he's looking for an exit strategy? Because he got on that podcast with Steve Nash and talked about ring culture, but we know he's still trying to get a ring.
Yeah, but on that subject, like we gonna run that GOAT conversation back, because I'm gonna have a special guest one day for the Sports Junkie Lounge, and we gonna have a GOAT debate conversation.
Word up.
So we gonna put a pin on that one. I really hope that I can't wait to see what this new owner, Mark Walter, is going to do with the organization, because the Buzz family had their finger in there in the Lakers for, you said, since 78, so
77,
70,
78,
yeah,
somewhere in there. It was the late 70s.
Yeah. So, and
I can look that up.
And the what was his name? What was his name?
3, 2,
The father, the bus.
Doctor. He was doctor.
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
Call him doctor.
Dr. Bus. We heard about him and his player rules with him and Magic Johnson. Like,
$1 million, man.
Yeah.
He
So,
gave Magic, because he knew. But the thing about it is that he had a vision, and Magic was his foundation.
yeah.
And he was like, "This is what we gonna do. This is how we gonna do it." And you have people that didn't agree, because Magic, America. Those that were not up alive then, Magic was 6'9". You had never seen a point guard that could do what he did at 6'9", and so they were trying to no, we're gonna make him a small forward, we're gonna do this, and Dr. No, we're gonna because he knew if Magic was not gonna be the point guard, he was not coming.
Well, I mean, it even goes in the 90s. I mean, the 90s, you didn't see a 6'9" point guard.
But he started that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, even in the 90s, you didn't. I mean, you had Jordan, he had the ball, and he was like, what, 6'6", 6'5"?
6'6".
Yeah, he was
6'6".
6'6". So, I mean, that doesn't even come close to 6'9". And most of the point guards, they were my heights at 6'1", 6'2",
Right. And then you have Penny Hardaway to come. Oh, Penny Hardaway was cold as a point
Yeah.
guard.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Scottie Pippen that could play every position that comes out before him.
Yeah.
Before him.
And that's why I don't understand the comparison between Jordan and LeBron. It was just the whole GOAT debate. But I think he probably should have been more compared to Scottie Pippen, the way they both played. But like I said, we'll get into that in another conversation.
What's next, dude?
So when we get back, we're going to talk about this whole Kevin Durant trade.
Before we get into that, Dr. Buss bought the Lakers in 1979.
Hey.
When he was coming out of college, he had a vision, America. So continue. Yes, Kevin Durant going to the Houston Rockets.
Ain't that crazy? Bro.
And he was a guest. I seen a video. He was a guest on a podcast, or a show. Let's just say a show.
Yeah.
How they were presenting it to America, I don't know, but one of the people in the audience.
Well, put a pin in that real quick. When we get back, we'll get deep into that one.
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody, welcome back. So, like I said, we are diving into the KD trade.
Woo-hoo.
It started out to be the summer KD, which nobody thought of it. I didn't think of it. I didn't know it was gonna be the summer KD. I thought it was gonna be summer somebody, but I didn't know it was gonna be KD.
Yeah, I knew Phoenix was done with him. They invested in him. They gave up a lot for him, and he's been injured, and he's not a leader. I'm not gonna say he's not a leader, but he doesn't know how to lift his team up like the greats. He's a great scorer, but when it's crunch time, he is not going to be that dude. He's gonna hit a fall away three. He's gonna do that, but he's not going to get in your face and be like, "This is what I need from you." That's not him.
Yeah,
and that matters. And teams have. Think about it. Even better. Think about this. So he was at OKC. James Harden was at OKC, and Westbrook was at OKC. They all went to Houston, and nothing happened. But I will say this.
and I'm glad you said that.
I'm gonna say this though before stick a pin in what you're about to say, because the thing about that is it still took a point guard.
Yeah.
If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, I think Golden State gets knocked out of there.
Yeah.
So that is what it is, because we already know we're not gonna get on James Harden. He's not clutch, so it don't matter. He's a great scorer, but he's not clutch.
Right.
And KD when he went to Brooklyn after he left Golden State, and him and Kyrie teamed up. There was it sounded good.
Yeah.
And they got the coach Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get hurt, if a player gets hurt, what they gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Yeah.
He's not that dude. So I don't know. I think you heard that, America? I don't know. What's the coach's name? Udoka? It's Udoka, the one that was with Boston.
But so here's what the Rockets gave up for him. They gave up Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th pick of the 2025 draft, and 5 second-round picks. Do you think it's worth it?
I don't see. I think it's going to depend on the coach, because it didn't work in Phoenix. Phoenix had a squad, they made it to the finals, and then once again, Chris Paul got hurt, CP3 got hurt, but they had a young nucleus, and then they went out and got Durant, and then they brought in Bill after that, and they just traded the house. And I think, and he's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He came out in 2010, 2011, something like that. And so there's just so many variables. He has to be healthy the whole season. But Udoka, or however you pronounce his name, excuse me, America, if I'm saying it wrong, but he can protect Durant with his defensive culture.
Yeah.
I think his defensive culture will protect Durant. But they got rid of Dylan Brooks. So who's going to be that enforcer? Because you're going to need that.
Well, and I don't know. I had mixed feelings about Dylan Brooks, honestly. He's kind of one of those Oh, he's one of those dangerous players in my mind. He can set your team up for great things on the defensive part, but he can cause a meltdown. Like when the year that 1 year where he kept talking about he wanted to push the envelope with the bear on getting in LeBron's ear, and then that he took it personal, and he didn't show up for the rest of it. Like Dylan Brooks didn't show up for the rest of it. That's what got me. But he is a good defensive player. Now, the one thing that I will say that they probably should have kept was Jalen Green.
Yes.
He was actually monumental for the championship of the Nuggets.
Jalen Green?
Yeah.
No. No.
That was not.
No, he got drafted by the Houston Rockets.
Okay, I'm thinking about the wrong green. There's too many greens. Honestly, there's too many greens. There's a lot of greens. There's a lot of greens. I thought he was the older player that played for the Nuggets, and as soon as they won the championship, he got bigger money.
He a young cat. He a young cat. But once
Who's I thinking
again,
of?
well, look it up.
Yeah.
Or have the team look it up. But the thing about it is that Houston is doing the same thing they did with James Harden. They're doing the same. Now they're doing what Phoenix did with Kevin Durant, what Brooklyn did with Kevin Durant. And so is Kevin, the biggest question is Kevin Durant worth everything that you're giving up? Is he worth that? Is he worth it? Is he worth it?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It was Jeff Green.
Yeah, the veteran from Georgetown.
He did go to the Rockets and still playing for the Rockets. So they still got him. So that's cool. So that gives him another play.
He's a veteran.
Yeah.
So he can fill in for Dylan Brooks. He's more of a scorer than at his age. He's more of a scorer than he can still get you 8 or 9 points.
Yeah.
But, Dylan Brooks, he's expendable just because of his attitude. Sometimes when you want to change the culture, you need somebody that you can that is going to be that enforcer. That if you knock my man down, you got Dylan Brooks behind that's going. But with this new age with social media, there's just so much stuff out there that you be like, you know what, I don't want this kind of attention, because you could have that back in the day. You could have a Charles Oakley, you could have an Xavier McDaniel, you could have these enforcers that was just a job, but you didn't have all of the back and forth with the microphones and the videos from the phones and it was just the extra, and it's so easy to get caught up in it and give your franchise a bad name.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also the rule changes too, because I mean, they giving out technical fouls and fouls like it's nothing nowadays. Back in the Charles Oakley days, how many times you see Charles Oakley put somebody on the floor, in the middle of a game? Like how many times
the Knicks all together? But even before that, when he was when he was drafted with the Bulls, if you knocked Jordan down, he was coming for you. In fact, he would just confront you about it.
Yeah,
and he's still that dude.
Yeah,
But like I said, I just think that Dylan Brooks he's made himself expendable because, like I said, Pat Bev is the same way. Pat Bev, you can have the momentum and he will get attacked for no reason.
Yeah.
Kill your momentum. And you want somebody like him on your team because he will uplift you, but then there's some parts like, okay, reel it in. Like Rodman.
Yeah.
Rodman, you could reel him in. You could reel him in because he know he's done his job. He's like, okay, I might get a tech, but I'm not going to get kicked out of the game.
Right.
And Jordan or whoever would grab him, Pippen, whoever, but he knew when to dumb it down. He's not going to keep, especially at the end of a quarter. Now, how do you start a quarter out with a technical foul? I seen Pat Bev but bring in that when LeBron when they was playing when the Lakers were playing the Celtics and LeBron went in and he got fouled and that's when that became a meme when he was crying on the floor because he didn't get the call. And so it went into overtime, and then Pat Bev came out with the 35 millimeter camera and showed the ref.
Yeah,
like this is what you missed. You know what they did? Tech.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna start OT with a tech? And that's what you don't need.
Yeah,
that's what you.
And
don't
that's why,
need.
and that's why I say dangerous players, because dangerous players, they can cost you, like on little stuff, they can cost you a big moment in the game, and that can just ruin everything.
And then now with this culture of flopping and all of that, and being able to get tricky fouls, you know, it's crazy. And you know that it's all about trying to get your man fouled out. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't do it back then, but it's just crazy now how you can fall and the refs be like, but the refs need to be reschooled. I just think they need to be reschooled because some of this stuff is not legitimate.
No,
you know, it's just not. But to the point of KD going to Houston, they had too many guards anyway. But they were a 2 seed this year. They were a 2 seed.
Yeah.
And Udoke, he taught them defense, and so I think that will protect Kevin Durant. You know, I'm not saying he can't play defense, but it'll take the pressure off him from trying to win the game.
Yeah,
they're trying to win the game.
And the one thing that worries me though about it is the fact that it almost seems like after Kyrie and Harden left the Nets, it almost seems like the same situation, don't it? Like he got a young player, he got all these young players around him. You know, it's either gonna be him or Jalen Green to, you know, run the team as the older vets.
Right.
So it just seems like the same kind of environment.
So that begs the question: if they're trying to knock LeBron for longevity, at what point do we say that Kevin Durant is just in it for longevity?
Yeah.
Nobody has said anything about that. I think that is a legitimate question.
That is, I'm more considered Kevin Durant as a journeyman.
No, he can still no. Don't you do that to him.
I don't mean in this respect.
Yeah, you got to clean that up.
I don't mean, because I'm a fan of Kevin Durant. Like I've said, I made that known. You know, he was the last of the Supersonics going to OKC. You know, almost won the championship. Just
because it sounds like you're saying that he's a ring chaser.
No.
If you call him a journeyman, he's a ring chaser.
No, I consider
because the only rings he got was at Golden State.
No, I mean I consider a ring chaser and a journeyman two different things. Because I mean a journeyman would just, you know, they'll go around the league.
Yeah, they know they role, and KD is not that. He's not coming off the bench. He's still going to start, and he still can be the leading scorer on his team.
The only reason I said that is because in earlier interviews he has said that all he wants to do is hoop. So that takes the leadership role out.
Exactly, but that doesn't make him a journeyman.
So if you're in some of the cases, you know, like this trade, I don't really necessarily know the backstory of the trade on if he wanted actually out on Houston or not, or Phoenix or not.
No, they were done with him. They were done with him.
Yeah, I know.
They're blowing that up.
Like I know with the Thunder, he was done.
No, you know what? He was done with Westbrook, not the team.
Okay, yeah.
He was done with Westbrook.
Well, and that,
but that's that young Shaq and Kobe shit, man.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the Warriors. He was done with Draymond Green.
Well, we know what happened there. He because Draymond with his crap, you know, but the thing about it is that they out there, the play that set all of that off was Draymond got a rebound and went the length of the court and he wouldn't pass it. KD was Like, give me the rock, give me the rock, give me the rock. But so was Thompson.
Yeah.
And
So
they called a timeout when Draymond went out there and went out there, did him from 90 feet and turned it over. They were like, just give me the rock. But you could see that other players were frustrated with him too, and that's when Draymond said, we don't need you. We won without you.
yeah.
But KD, in his feelings, y'all got two because of me, and he was the MVP both times.
Yeah.
He was better. He was the best player on the team.
Yeah.
I think that if he'd have stayed, they would have got rid of Draymond and kept him. But the organization was scared of Draymond, and KD was done because you could see he came out of court and said, "That's why I'm out of here." You see him out the words, but continue, man. I don't want to steal your shit.
Like I said, I don't mean it as any disrespect to Kevin Durant because I am a fan. I've been a fan for years. It did, and then even when he went to a different team, I wasn't like, nah, that's some bull. Like I was with LeBron.
Did you watch him at Texas?
Yeah, I did. That's what actually I like. Before he got into the league, when I saw him at Texas and I saw him in the tournament, I was like, that dude is special.
6'10", 6'11",
yeah,
beady head.
When he was, and then because then I also saw him, a clip of him at Rutgers, and like KD.
He didn't play at Rutgers.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
No.
There is a clip of him playing at Rutgers.
No, sir.
There,
you talking about Rucker Park?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was talking about Rutgers. No. I thought you was talking about the college.
No.
Man, get your lingo together, man. Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
All I
right,
said Rutgers.
America.
Any ball player. If you say Rutgers, you know what I'm talking about.
Rucker Park,
no, don't do that to me.
No.
Don't play me like that.
Right,
don't play me like that.
All right.
But yeah, no.
Because I didn't know he played at Rucker Park. So you have to be clear for the people that might not know.
Okay, so Rucker Park. For anybody that don't know.
I thought he said Rutgers.
No.
He ain't never played for the Red Raiders.
But no, for anybody that don't know, Rucker Park, it is
New York, baby.
It is the mecca, like how Madison Square Garden is for like pro sports. Rucker Park is the mecca of street ball.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make a name in basketball, you go to Rucker Park.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
I have seen Kobe play at Rucker Park. I've seen on video. I haven't been there. I want to go myself, but KD,
I didn't know he played at Rucker.
Yeah, and he beasted. And so that right there, it's different from playing on a structured ball court type environment versus getting down and playing in the streets. It is a whole different vibe, whole different environment. Like, you got to show out.
The realest of the real. Yeah. It's real money.
So don't get me wrong. When I say he's a journeyman, I didn't mean no disrespect to him. I don't.
He said it wrong, America. KD is not a journeyman.
He just he had a different view.
He's a ring chaser. That's all he is at this point. He is a ring chaser. His time is coming. He's been in the league for like 14, 15 years. His time is coming. He's a ring chaser. That's just what he is. And the thing about it is to what level that these organizations feel like that he still has it, because they are betting the farm on him. Yeah. And is he still worth that? That is the question.
That is the more question I was getting at. Is he worth? So let us know, America. Is he worth the ticket price these organizations are willing to give for him? And with how he has been, his backstory for a while with injuries, not really, like he can be clutch. He can hit that last shot, don't get me wrong. But he is not the one that's going to lead your young squad to a championship. So with that being said, let us know what you think. What you think of that trade. But now let's get into these NBA playoffs and the results.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. And we're gonna come back with that, because a couple of things, it's a lot to dissect from that, and so let's get back to that. So see you in a minute, or be back in a minute, America. Peace.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are going straight into the NBA playoffs. There was one thing I did want to bring up. I don't think we brought up in the episode. How do you feel about Thibodeau getting fired from the Knicks?
It just, I honestly, I think that what management felt versus what the players felt was apples and oranges, but management has the last word. I think that whomever the Knicks bring in, he's gonna have to sell himself and make them believe that he can get them to the next level. Because the one flaw that Thibodeau was having was that he didn't extend his bench. He was burning his players out.
Yeah,
he was burning his players out, and the stuff that Brunson does, he doesn't have to do so much. He doesn't have to do all that. He's got a team around him, and I just think that was the issue. I think that he just didn't know how to extend his bench on offense, because we all know Thibodeau is a defensive, somewhat of a guru.
Yeah,
because it's well documented. I mean, he's, what he did with Chicago post Jordan is great.
Yeah,
but they just felt like that we got to move forward and change the culture.
Yeah. But so now we are going into, we have our NBA championships.
Yeah.
So the Thunder,
with two UK players, they got a title.
UK players won the championship.
Yeah.
Two young players at that.
Yeah.
And not considered one of the youngest players to win a championship, but it's still a young team. Don't get me wrong, and there probably is some young players on that team that has probably put their names on the list of the youngest players that won a championship. But yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who used to be the Seattle Supersonics, has finally won their first championship in franchise history. So, kudos to them. There was the ones that we both picked to win the championship. But it didn't come at a cost. It did not come.
No, it
with
did.
A cost. It did come with a cost, but
well, I think what you're trying to say is that on their journey, on the Pacers' journey, with Halliburton, with Halliburton being their savior for the length of the playoffs,
and last year's playoffs too.
Yeah. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
But the thing that got me, and I knew something was wrong when I seen the replay, and I see him going for that step drive to the basket.
So what replay are you talking about?
Halliburton.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened? So he caught the ball. They gave him the ball. It wasn't at the top of the key. It was kind of at the top, but he went to step to drive to the basket. And when he took off, he took that first step, and then his right foot pushed off. And when it did, you can see that snap.
Yeah.
And right there, when
he blew out his Achilles, right?
Yeah. So when I saw that replay, and all of a sudden I just seen his leg pop, I knew something right then and there wasn't right. And I was like, he's done. I know that as a player when I tore my ACL, my PCL, like it just when you see something pop, it's done.
Gotta know.
It's done. I was like,
and it's sad because he came out and hit 3 straight threes. He was on a mission.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. He's one of those cocky players that I kind of like. It's kind of like borderline.
What makes him cocky?
I mean, what it. I don't want to say because I mean everybody loves the good, the taunting and everything like that. But when he did that choke move, talking about I choked him out, on game one, that kind of, I don't know. There's certain things, and there was certain off court things that he's done that's kind of like he, with his dad and everything like that. It just it just didn't set right with me. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not counting him out as a player. Don't get me wrong.
And that's fair.
And don't get me wrong, because he is a good player and he's done some big things for the Pacers.
Oh, this whole NBA playoff run.
That's last year too. Well,
the thing about last year is that Brunson was hurt. So they ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, and they had the Celtics on the rope. But the issue is turnover. Yeah, and we'll get into that.
Yeah,
but
so when I said that, it wasn't no disrespect to him.
You always doing shit,
but.
You're always saying shit.
It ain't. It's not. As a player, he is a good player. He has done some big things for the Pacers, especially here late. Because
do they have a better chance with him or without him?
It shows without him. Because who won the championship?
Game 7. Game 7. Do the Indiana Pacers have a greater chance to win with him or without him?
They have a greater chance with him.
Exactly.
And that's why I said it shows that it does have a bigger chance because, I mean, who else leaves in the Pacers' hands? McConnell?
Oh, he shined.
Not when it counted.
Yeah, the third quarter, he kept him in it. He kept him in it, but the problem was turnover. It was turn. Without Halliburton, they had to play the perfect game, and they were not able to do that.
Yeah. So
I got the hiccups, America. You have to excuse me. I'm over here struggling. I don't know what the.
He is over here struggling.
Oh my gosh!
I thought I had it. I thought I had it bad with my little science infection.
Nah. I'm over here I'm holding my breath. I need a damn brown paper sack.
He needs a spoonful of sugar or something
to make the damn. Because I got a lot to say, but I ain't trying to hiccup all the way through.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So let me ask you this.
It would have been a closer game if they had Halliburton, but I still see the Thunder winning.
Yeah, I picked the Thunder because what they did in the third quarter is what they did. But, the difference is once again, Indiana has showed us something different. They've showed us something different. They have showed us that they can overcome that. I mean, even without him, they only lost by 12. And then pull up the stats. Pull up the stats of the Indiana Pacers. Scoring.
All right, we'll do that. Let's get the team on that. When I say the team, I mean me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, not this shit. We got other helpers. He think he in this alone. All right, America.
Nah, well, hey, you heard the intro. It said Cha-Cha and D-Lo.
Okay. I ain't trying to be sensitive.
He getting sense over here.
Oh, damn.
He's getting sensitive.
Damn. Well, the game will change when you pull up these damn stats. That's all I'm saying. America, it was a good game. They fought a great fight. I'm telling you, they was leading at halftime. They fought a great fight.
It really was.
They had to play the perfect game. And the one thing I will say is that I love Obi Toppin. He didn't get his flowers at Dayton. He was player of the year. And he put Dayton on a plateau that they hadn't been in a while, but COVID shut that down. And so he was with the Knicks. They drafted him. All right, cool. And now he's with the Pacers. I did not know that he was a turnover waiting to happen. He is a turnover waiting to happen. I don't know why. And maybe because he doesn't know his role. But have you pulled up the stats?
Yes. Do you want the Pacers? Do you want OKC?
No,
first?
just the Pacers.
Okay.
Just the Pacers because the Pacers lost by 12. So how many points did Siakam get? Because the coach just sat him out for whatever reason.
All right. Siakam had 16 points, and he played for 37 minutes. His field goals was 5 for 13. His 3-point was 2 for 5, and his free throws were 4 for 7.
How many minutes did he play in the second half?
They don't really go by half.
Yeah, you can pull it up by quarter if you want to. He shut him down, and he played in the third, but he shut him down in the fourth quarter. Not why? I don't know. Siakam should have been out there. He should have been the Robin to.
And I agree. I do agree. The 16 points is definitely, especially for 37 minutes, is definitely uncalled for in a game 7 of NBA playoffs.
Because 37 minutes, we have 12 minutes a quarter, so it's
42 minutes a game.
No, 48.
48.
Yeah, 12 times 4 is 48.
Okay, yeah.
Another failure for the Maysville.
Whatever.
Got him.
But
okay. You know what? What did he play in the fourth quarter and the third quarter? Get the whole game.
Let's see here. Well, I actually have to click on.
I'm gonna tell you.
Let's see. We'll go to stats.
By quarter, we need it by quarter.
Because
I think Carlisle shut him down.
And
because T.J. McConnell was shining, so he just left him on the bench.
Let's see here. I'm not really getting it by quarter.
We're gonna get that. Nah, America. We're not gonna let D-Lo off the hook because okay. No.
I mean, I don't
No. Forget about Siakam. So who we have?
I mean, not even
No. For the whole game, how many points did Toppin get? How many points did Naismith get? And how many points did Turner get?
Yeah,
and this would tell it all.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. So Naismith had 3 points.
3. And they only America, they only lost by 12.
And he played 30 minutes.
And he only got 3 points.
That was definitely
so next.
Actually, he hit 1 3.
Of course.
He was 1 for 5, 1 for 3.
But he wasn't aggressive. He didn't take it to the hole. He didn't even get no free throws. All right.
Nimhart was 15.
No. Nimhart did his thing. No, I said
Nimhart had 15 points.
Yeah, no, 30, I didn't say Nimhart.
Minutes.
I said no.
But
no.
I'm going. Hold on.
I want you to name the 3 players that I said. I said Smith, Naismith, Miles Turner, and Obi Toppin. Those 3.
Okay.
Just America, because they only lost by 12. All 3 of them get 5, they win.
Turner had 6. And
so wait a minute, hold up. So that's a total of 9. So that's 3 for
Three
Naismith
for Naismith,
and
then
6 for
Turner.
Toppin and
No,
Turner.
no. 0 for Toppin.
And there it is.
Toppin had no points.
No points and no points. And he's averaging 10, 9 point, whatever. 10.
I mean, you had McConnell for 16.
Oh, he crushed him in the third quarter. But once again, let's go back. So Toppin had 0 and Naismith had 3.
Yeah.
So now how many did Miles Turner have?
Miles Turner had 6.
And that's the game. And that's the game.
And then you had Halliburton at
No.
But
He got 9. No.
But he was injured. So
No. We're talking about what it took for them to win.
So for them to win,
they needed the bench players but the thing is they had been performing with Toppin on the bench. I mean, I'm sorry, not Toppin, but Halliburton on the bench. So they all between 3 players, there was a total of 9 points. That's 3 points if you divide it out 3, and they lost by 12. Step up. Carlisle did his job. He did his job. He just needed them to get half of their average. Just half of their average. And that was the issue. That was the issue. So you didn't know that, right? You didn't know that. You didn't see. So who had 0 again? Toppin?
Yeah. I mean, I know he needed to score. Don't get me wrong.
And then Naismith had only 3.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Turner
had 6.
Out of the starters, you needed Naismith and Turner to show out.
And
the moment Halliburton went out.
It's Turner's time. So Turner comes off the bench, but he's an offensive rebound because you can look at his rebounds and all of that. But Turner, he just because we can even go into what they average per game.
Because then you had Benedict Mathurin.
Role play, yeah, you can't even say his name.
You had him going for 24 points in 33 minutes.
For who?
For the Pacers.
I didn't even know he was on the team. That's my point, man.
Yeah, you had him going for 24 points. He shot He shot for 6 for 14 and 3 for 5 and 2 for 5 on the 3.
If Toppin, Naismith, and Turner just give us half of what they've been doing. Turner's averaging double figures. Toppin is averaging like 11. Maybe.
Oh, he was a shooting guard. He's 6'5" from Arizona. Boy, that's crazy. But yeah, that is wild. Like that is crazy. But yeah, so all right, so I'm not. There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have,
So what I'm asking you is my point legitimate?
No, I wasn't saying your point wasn't legitimate. If those players didn't show out the moment Halliburton went out, they probably would have won.
I'm not saying that they would have had a greater chance, and then the length of time that he left Siakam. I mean, but he had to let y'all. TJ McConnell was cooking. He was cooking. I ain't gonna front. He was cooking CGA. He was cooking him. He had like 14 to 16 points in the third quarter.
But that's the problem with McConnell. He'll have his moments, like you said, in the third quarter, but then all of a sudden he'll just disappear. And then when I was texting one of my friends,
but that's a role player. That's a role player.
But when the moment steps up like that, you need to step up.
And he's been stepping up. He stepped up when they extended it to 7 games. It wasn't about him. It was about the ones that get the clock.
I agree. But at that point. At that point, when a player like Halliburton goes out, it takes everybody. It takes the whole squad. because you have already lost somebody that scores 25 to 30 points regularly. So, and you only cut him down to 7. What was it? Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7. That right there, you have to have people to cover those spots. And if you don't, because let's look at the Thunder. You know what I mean? Like it. So the Thunder, let's see who showed out on them.
They did enough. The Thunder just did enough.
So you had Chet Holmgren, he had 18 points. You had Jalen Williams, he had 20. Isaiah Hartenstein had 7 with 9 rebounds.
That's what he's supposed to do.
And then you had SGA going for 29, and Lou Dort, he went for 9.
Right, he's knocking down threes.
And then you had what was it? Alex Caruso. Yeah.
Caruso.
He had 10 points.
Yeah.
And then you had,
and that's it.
Mitchell, AJ Mitchell.
That's
going
it.
for 10 again. And like you said, that by
rebounds.
that 10, it was already enough.
So OKC had the balance that the Pacers didn't have, because here's the thing. If those players that we named for the Pacers, if they do, if they do what they're supposed to do, the players that you naming not getting in. They not getting in. They're not getting in.
All right.
So I'm just saying, Toppin, Naismith, and Turner. And Turner.
Let's go deeper into it. Let's see the whole team stats. So you had the Pacers, they had 29-70. And then you had the Thunder, which was 35-87 of field goals.
Exactly, 39 out of 87.
Then you had
the number of threes.
The threes, you had 11-28 with the Pacers, and then you had 11-40.
Trash. OKC was trash from 3. I'm telling you.
Let's see, field goals. You had 22 of 29, and then 20. That was Pacers, and then 22 of 31 of the Thunder.
They were right there.
It was.
I'm
right
trying
there.
to tell you,
the
man.
The one thing that I can see
is the turnovers.
Yeah, it was a lot of turnovers.
They had 20. What? 23. 23.
And
okay.
Then the OKC had 8.
And there it is. But even, and that's what I'm saying, you neutralize those turnovers by just scoring, because you know that there's certain players that's going to get more clock now that Halliburton is out. And so, and that was the one thing in the third quarter. TJ McConnell, he was doing his thing. He was, like I said, he was giving that work.
Yeah.
He was giving that work.
And even the fouls was right there. You had Pacers had 24 and the Thunder had 23. Like, the fouls wasn't even that obscure. Like, it was literally turnovers lost the game.
And these are, yes, but the turnovers lost the game because you had with Halliburton out, you had to play a perfect game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you don't play the perfect game and you bring somebody in to take his spot, which is TJ McConnell, which he got more time than he normally gets because Halliburton is out, right?
Right.
But he did his thing.
Yeah.
Because he lit them up in the third quarter. But the thing is the starters, and Toppin doesn't start, but we know he gets his. He gets his. And so if you get 5 from Naismith, 5 from Toppin, 5 from Miller, they possibly win.
Yeah.
They possibly win.
And I do not disagree with that at all. It's just one of those things for either one of these teams, the stars align just right for them to win the championship. Because honestly, I said
they were in the finals last year, the Western Conference Finals, and Dallas got them.
Yeah,
but, Dallas ain't shit with Luka. Was with them.
Like I said, with both of these teams, I said the Thunder was going to win. But it honestly, the way they was playing, the way it was going back and forth, it could have gone either way.
Okay, exactly. And so I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be done. If Halliburton doesn't go out and he's on a mission, he comes down and knocks down 3 straight threes. And so he would have been that player to get those other players involved.
Yeah.
He would have got the points.
Yeah.
And then maybe Siakam gets more clock, because I don't know why Carlisle sat him out so long in the third quarter and the fourth. But either way, the thing is that, I just feel like that it would have been more interesting. I think the players that didn't shine for Indiana did not know how to shine without Halliburton, and they've done it throughout the playoffs. Because it's not like Halliburton's had a great series. He's done okay. He's been clutch, but they have shined. They have had to do what they do without him, because even the times that he had bad games, Turner gets more than 5. Naismith gets more than 5, and the Toppin gets more than 5. But I think it was a mental thing. I think they just didn't know how to step up, because they don't get that same amount of clock with TJ McCullough, because TJ McCullough was out there running around like he was freaking Nash.
Yeah.
Steve Nash, he's going under and coming. That's not what Halliburton does. And so it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same setup. It wasn't the same game plan. It wasn't the same. And so that's why I say I think these players that didn't shine, it would have been better, especially when he's knocking down the 3. I just think they would have been able to neutralize, the lack of scoring. And
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
That was the difference between McConnell and Halliburton. That's okay, McConnell did his thing, but he didn't know how to, because as a point guard, if I see that if I got a player averaging 10 points a game and he's got nothing, I got to get him involved.
Right.
What do I got to do? But McConnell is not used to that. He's just more reactive. He's more reactive. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to turn, shoot this fall away, I'm going to go underneath. If somebody's come to the basket, I'm gonna drop it, whatever. But he didn't know. And that's what a true point guard does. You get those players that are off, you find a way to get them off.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's the same thing with SGA. SGA, he won Finals MVP.
The team was trash. The team was trash. Without he kept them afloat.
Yeah. So I mean, he won the Finals MVP along with regular season MVP
and the scoring title.
But
who's done it? Jordan. You forgot about that. You forgot about that.
Let's go.
Jordan, and Jordan.
Nah, I ain't
Go
putting
Big Blue. Go Big Blue. SGA from University of Kentucky. He did that thing. He did that. Regular season scoring title, regular season MVP, finals MVP, and conference MVP. Wait. The finals MVP.
The Western Conference MVP.
And the season MVP.
Yeah.
And scoring title.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that.
And he made all NBA.
Of course.
Of course. First team all NBA.
Go Big Blue.
Big Blue. Yeah, so we gonna give it up for the Big Blue real quick. Yeah, that's what we do here. But he put, and I will say he put the team on his back for this season. He had a remarkable season. So and that's what it takes to win on the NBA level. It like all these other players, you got your LeBrons walking out at the end of the game, like 6 seconds left in the NBA game. Like you ain't never see Jordan do that. But he's in it to win it, and he brings these younger players. He brings the players together. Like I don't know, man. Like I said, the stars was in line for the Thunder to win.
Yeah.
And that's what it ultimately was for one of these teams.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Halliburton, and I really hope for a speedy recovery for him.
Well, that's not going to happen. Achilles, he's going to be out for the rest of. He will not play next season.
Yeah,
Tatum, but they will not be available next season.
Yeah, so
if they do, it may be the playoffs. But the Achilles, because Tatum, his surgery went well, but the rehab, the Achilles is different, and so they may not play next season.
Yeah,
they may not until the playoffs.
And I mean, honestly, my hearts do go out to these players that do have these heavy injuries, because I did have a they would call it a career ender when I was 13.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then,
yeah.
Back then, the medicine was different.
Well, that and
D-Lo is old.
Well, that
I'm older, but he old too.
But I didn't have the knowledge of a difference between the type of doctors, as far as a orthopedic doctor versus a sports medicine doctor.
But you wasn't supposed to. They were supposed. But it was a different era.
Yeah. We ain't talking about that.
Yeah, he might have been your dad. I might not know D-Lo if he would have got the proper surgery and treatment and all of that. He might have got that money to get his family out of the hood.
I don't know, because we all know my wife, and I still probably would have went for that.
And there it is, America.
But it I don't know, man. Like I said, congratulations to the Thunder and their organization.
Shout out to the Thunder, two UK players that got a title.
Yeah.
So we love that.
And
they were significant in the whole season. So we love that, especially SGA, the Cal era. So it is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, next we got the draft coming up on Wednesday. We're recording on Monday. So when you hear this, the draft will happen, and then we're going to talk about the draft on the next episode. With that being said, this is D-Lo and Cha-Cha.
We in the building. Cha-Cha's always in the building, because that's just what it is. And we doing what we do.
So with that being said, we are out. Peace.